The narrow way. The road was cracked and choked with silence. Leah moved fast, crouched low, her boots whispering against the asphalt. David was a few feet behind her, his breath ragged but measured. They'd seen the horde too late, a slow, moving tide of rot and hunger, trapped between two jackknifed semis on a narrow stretch of highway. A grim accident from the early days of the outbreak had turned into a bottleneck for the dead. There was no way through. Leah didn't speak. She only flicked her hand toward the tree line, and David nodded without question. They slipped into the woods with practiced steps, the thrum of danger making each motion precise. Dry leaves threatened to give them away with every shift of weight. She kept her knife in hand, ready. A walker lurched from behind a trunk, but Leah was faster. Her blade sank into the soft skull just above its ear, her grip steady even as its body sagged in her arms. They kept moving, over fallen logs, around bramble thickets, weaving between skeletal trees stripped bare by seasons of decay. At one point, they had to crawl beneath a collapsed fence where rusted metal snagged at their packs. David's shoulder scraped open. Leah tossed him a strip of cloth and didn't slow down. They didn't talk until night swallowed the sky. Camp was nothing more than a shallow hollow ringed by stone. Leah lit a fire with a flint and dried moss, letting the flames dance low. David sat across from her, wiping his arm clean. "That horde back there," he said, voice gravel-soft, "didn't look like it was just wandering." Leah didn't answer right away. Her eyes were on the fire, but her thoughts weren't. "I've seen it before," she said finally. Someone moves a wreck, clears a path, draws them in on purpose, to trap someone else. David exhaled slowly. "People are getting desperate." Leah's jaw tightened. Desperate is one thing, but some of them, they're not just trying to survive anymore. They like the power, like knowing they have it over someone else. David looked at her carefully. "You didn't used to talk like that." She poked the fire with a stick. Sparks rose, briefly defiant. "I didn't used to think it," she said. "When we met, I still thought people were worth the risk. Thought we could build something if we just kept moving, kept helping. And now?" Leah looked up. Her expression was tired, but not cold. "Now? I'm not saying you don't help anybody, but I think you have to be damn sure who you're saving before you reach out." David nodded. He didn't argue. They both knew too many names now to say otherwise. They kept watches that night, barely sleeping. Leah took first. She sat still and silent, watching the trees, hearing every crack of a branch like it meant something. Her mind wandered back to the last city she'd left, and the friend she hadn't saved. Then she pulled her focus back. Thinking too long about the dead didn't help the living. By dawn, they were back on the move. It happened fast. Too fast. They'd skirted a ravine, circled around the worst of the horde they'd dodged the day before. Leah had started to relax. Just slightly, when she spotted them. 5 men, maybe 6. Not walkers. Armed. Coordinated. One of them crouched by a dead fire, inspecting a still warm ember. Leah didn't need a second look. They'd been followed. She hissed to David and they ran. Through brush, over roots, across uneven terrain. Gunfire cracked behind them, echoing sharp through the trees. Leah led them on a zigzag path, weaving between rocks and fallen limbs. At one point, she ducked behind a ridge and hurled a smoke grenade, fashioned from scavenged chemicals. David's idea. Her handiwork. The thick gray plume gave them a few seconds' edge. But David was lagging behind. His breath came shallow, his strides faltered. He wasn't built for this. Not like her. Not anymore. "Go," he wheezed. Leah turned on him, eyes hard. Shut up and move. They pushed into a gully, then doubled back through a thicket. A stray round hit a tree inches from Leah's head. She threw herself down, crawling forward, her pack scraping bark. Another round whizzed through the trees above her, then another and another. David took a couple pot shots in the direction of the group, which took the focus off Leah long enough for her to get several rounds off in their direction as well. She heard a scream, and then deep groans of pain. She hit one. Probably not fatal by the sounds of it, but as his friends rush to his aid, it provides enough of an opening for Leah and David to make their move. By the time they reached a dry creek bed, the noise had faded. They collapsed behind a boulder, lungs burning. David lay flat, hands over his chest, trembling with fatigue. "Are they still following?" he gasped. Leah peered back. Nothing but trees and wind. "No," she said, "but they will." David laughed, hollow and breathless. "You're always right about the worst things." Leah didn't laugh. She just looked at the woods beyond, as if trying to see the next trap, the next loss waiting to happen. "We'll keep going," she said. "We'll find a new path." David nodded, eyes closed. "Of course we will." Leah sat beside him, back against the stone, knife still in hand. She didn't relax. She didn't trust the silence. But she let herself breathe. Just once. They were still alive. For now.